What's up, people? I'm Jessica Ross.
And I'm Emma Lukey.
And we're White Wine and Moonshine. Get ready for absolute chaos.
We both love giving advice, but we've realized that we have very different styles. Mine is pretty good.
But mine is even better, even though most people say it's not.
On every episode, we'll be covering everyday life and issues and giving our advice and thoughts on them.
From our own unique perspectives.
Don't worry, we're not going to be talking about alcohol. It's just that our advice is as different as white wine and moonshine.
But you know, we also could talk about that.
Jessica.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. Welcome to White Wine and Moonshine.
Yeah, it's our first video.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready to get going.
That's right.
I'm nervous this will flop, but I mean, I'm kind of just doing this for us, so
yeah.
if
we might
anybody
have
else
to make
watches.
a couple videos before anyone is actually interested.
Yes. We hope you enjoy this. Please let us know what we're doing wrong, because we probably are doing something wrong.
Well, that's not a good way to phrase it. It's just like, give us some commentary. That's not the right word.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Okay.
We know what we're saying, okay? Just go with it. Okay. So, I guess this first podcast we're going to be talking about love.
That's right. We put out a poll a while ago asking for questions that you'd like advice on and things that we should talk about. And we got a lot of people asking about relationship type questions.
Which I guess, I don't know how some of us are supposed to answer this, because I'll be single forever.
You won't be single forever.
Anyway.
There's just no one out there that you've met who's ready to go to a max security prison with you. So Jessica, what are we going to talk about first?
I think we're going to talk about, like, our experiences with crushes.
I think that's a great idea.
If we have any.
You have had so much experience with crushes.
Yeah, but it never actually gets anywhere.
Talk us through your steps of having a crush, Jessica.
I mean, you know, sometimes you kind of just notice them and you're like, I wonder, like, do I actually kind of like this person now?
Mm-hmm.
Usually it turns out into me liking them, because, I mean, what else am I gonna do with my life? But then I'm like, I just kind of get infatuated with them. Like, it's like, oh, he looked at me, you know? It's like, oh, you must like me. But then I never actually really do anything about it, because I don't want to get my heart broken.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I do anything about it, it's always kind of ended badly. So, I mean, I guess just, like, I probably went around, like, doing it wrong. Like, I was just kind of like, hi. Like, or I'd go up to my friends and be like, can you, like, tell him for me? Mm-hmm. Which was probably not a smart thing to do. Although it, you know, at the time it was like, oh, like, I'm sure it's fine. But it probably means so much more if you're the one actually, like, telling them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I doubt even if I had done it, anything would have transpired. But the point is, I would actually, like, talk to them, like, text them, talk to them first, because otherwise it's just kind of awkward.
Like you try and get to know them better first?
Yeah. Or, like, if you're close friends with them, I mean, I would probably try and hint at it more. Because, you know, you don't want to be like, hey, I like you. And then it's like, oh, shit, like, we're friends. I don't know what to do anymore with myself.
Yeah, it can be awkward if you've got a crush on someone you've been friends with for a while.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was generally what happened with me, was I would be friends with someone, and then I would get a crush on them. And then I would be like, oh, well, I don't really want to tell them, because I'm not sure that they feel the same way, and I don't want to not be friends anymore. And then, the times that I have had crushes on people before I was friends with them, I felt like I could tell them because, like, oh, what do you have to lose? I don't
True.
even really know them. But then it kind of becomes awkward because, like, well, if they say yes, then you don't even know that person.
I know. What do you do?
Mhm.
Okay, I've had that where I wouldn't really count it, but that kind of happened once.
Mhm.
I was really young though, so I didn't. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
we kind of told each other that we liked each other, but then you're too awkward to, like, if you're not like close friends with them,
Mhm.
or it's just really awkward because you're like, what do I do now? Like, hey, what's good? Like, you wanna do something at some time? Like, you know,
Mhm.
it's really awkward, and then I feel like that can just get ruined, especially if you're like introverted. That would stink.
Because you don't necessarily have a ton of close friends.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some ideas for that from kind of personal experience.
Ooh.
So, first of all, I would like to say that if you're friends with someone and you get a crush on them, that I think that you should tell them. And it doesn't have to be some big thing. Just be like, hey, I think that I have feelings for you. I want to know if you like me too, because if you don't, then that's fine and we can still be friends. Because I think a lot of my crushes, I would have stopped liking them if I had just told them. Because the more that you
Think about it.
the more you just think like, oh my gosh, I like them so much.
Yeah.
Whereas if you tell them and it's out there and they don't like you, then it's like, okay, let's move on.
Exactly.
I could have saved myself so much freaking time if I had done that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, yeah, I've had many experiences like that, and I find especially if you're really close with someone, like everyone's like, oh, I could ruin the friendship, but if you're really friends with that person, they should still care about you enough to, like, make it kind of normal. Like, I will say I've had some experiences like that, and it actually turned out well. So,
Yeah.
I would just say go for it. You know, don't be afraid. Although, I mean, that's kind of inevitable, to be honest. But, like,
Oh yeah.
don't just, like, rerun it over and over in your head and not do anything about it. Either get over it now, or, like, get your stuff together and tell them.
Yeah. I think that it's so much easier if you just let it out. And once you do it one time, then it gets easier after that. Because the first time's going to be the hardest time.
True that.
And then you're like, yeah, I've already done this before. I can do it again.
Yeah. Well,
Now, I have another thing about the crush that we were talking about. There's two, because there's the two. There's you're friends first or you're not friends. And I've got ideas for if you're not friends as well.
Yeah.
So, if you're not really friends with that person, I say you gotta at least get to know them a little bit before you start telling them. Because if you just tell them you like them, and then either it's too awkward and nothing happens, or something happens, but it's like, you still feel awkward because you don't know them. You gotta get to know them.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like, I've had some really whack experiences with the dudes online, and they're like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm good. They're like, do you have a girl? Or, I mean, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a boyfriend? And I'm like, why are you asking?
And then you're like, no, I have a girlfriend.
Ooh, snap. Anyway, they're like, do you have a boyfriend? And I'm like, no. And they're like, I can be that boyfriend. And I'm like, I've known you for what? Like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
What do you expect to come from that? We could be totally incompatible. You know? Like, oh my gosh, that annoys me so much. That's a pet peeve.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to my list.
You know what? There's some advice for people as well. Don't just ask people out, maybe. Because then it seems like you're not really interested in them, but just the idea of a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who they are. So how can you want to be with them?
Or it's just like you're there for their looks, which is like
Also that.
kind of shitty.
Very shallow.
Okay. Also to like the people who do ask you out just out of the blue, for a lot of like the recipients, it's like they must just be like playing a prank on me. Like nobody's gonna take that seriously.
So
like,
then,
you know, that also can kind of hurt, because if you're the person saying that, and they're like, no, you're joking, like, why would I do that? And then you're like, oh, that kind of hurts if I've just said I'm interested in you. Which, I mean, yeah. You know, it's bad either way.
It's not gonna... Neither party is gonna feel good about it. So just get to know them a little. Appreciate them as a person before you are interested in them as a romantic partner.
Yeah, you might even, like, start talking to them and realize, like, oh, like, this is not who I thought they were. I am no longer interested. And then you spare yourself and the other person the pain of the awkward I like yous and stuff.
Indeed. So, this was a lovely little segue into our next topic, which is obtaining a partner. Obtaining sounds weird. I don't like that.
Give me you.
Not obtaining. What's the right word? Like...
Getting?
Having maybe? I don't know.
I mean, I think you would be the best person to answer this.
Well, first I want to talk about something that I think that you will be able to converse in as well. And that's that it's not a good idea to go looking for someone.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for someone, you're going to have a tendency to settle for someone just because you want that. And that's not what you want. You want to just settle with someone instead of finding someone you just like and want to be with.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest. It's like, there have been a lot of times where I'm like, oh, I just want someone. I want snuggles. I want affection. I want love.
Yeah.
And then I end up, like, talking to not good people. And that is not fun. That is not enjoyable.
Yeah.
I wasted so much time talking to someone who I didn't even really like just because, like, I wanted somebody.
Some attention and some love.
I do like attention.
You do. That's okay. Yeah, so the first step to getting a boyfriend is not searching for one. Or a girlfriend even, for that matter. Whoever you're interested in. Don't go searching. If you're ready to find someone, then I would say the best thing to do is just, first, everyone says it. But again, it's because it's true. You have to be happy with yourself first. Because if you're not happy as a whole person and you feel like you need another person to make you a whole person,
That's true, yeah.
That means that whoever you're with is always... You're never gonna have a...
You're gonna be dependent on them.
Yeah.
And that's you learn in calm. That's a toxic relationship.
Well, and that's not good for them, and it's not good for you, because you feel like you need them, and they feel like they can't be an individual. You have to be individuals that are together.
Yeah.
You can't be together and no individualism.
Can't be the same person.
Yeah.
I find also that ruins other social relationships. Like, if you just become one person, then it's like, hey, you want to, like, go to the movies? And it's like, oh, my other half has to join me. And I'm like,
yeah.
That's not what I was asking. Like, you, not some other person, too.
Yeah, so that's the first thing is... And I know it's hard when you're wanting to be with someone and it feels like it's never gonna happen and you just want to find someone.
Yep.
But... Unfortunately, you have to be patient.
I have no patience.
I know. So then, I don't know, let's say you've found someone that you're interested in. So then, definitely, it's like I was saying earlier, we were saying earlier, you want to get to know them first. And a really important thing is once you get to know them and you think that you want to be with them, it is important to tell them, because, like, what if they never even knew? And then once they know, then they can consider you as an option.
Yeah.
They might not have even known you were an option.
True.
You know? You gotta let
Although
them
you
know.
kind of would hope that they were thinking about you, too.
But, like, maybe that little extra push.
Ooh.
Nice! Yes. So that's what I recommend is... Don't go searching. I know it's hard. But eventually, it will work out.
You know what else, talking about that?
What else?
A lot of things I find, like, on online kind of relationships
Mm-hmm.
are, like, people who, like, they want something to happen, but they're also like, oh, let me play it cool. I'll, like, leave you undelivered for, like, 9 hours.
Yes.
I won't answer your text for a long time. I'll be kind of frosty, and I'm like, if you want someone, is that how you're gonna treat them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I find, it just annoys me so much when people just leave you for, like, a week, or even a day, even, like, an hour.
I saw this video, and I agree with it so much, so I'm gonna tell the lesson here, and it's like, so, the lady was saying, she was like, so, you don't want to talk to someone too much, because you don't want them to know that you're interested. So you leave them on red for like 5 hours, and now you don't get to talk to the person that you want to talk to.
Yeah, that, like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like, don't you want to be with them because you want to talk with them? You want to get closer to them? Not like, let's just leave their Snapchat for a bit. It's like, do you even want them? Like,
yeah.
I understand you're trying to play it cool, but, like, it's not really cool to the other person. It kind of hurts my feelings if that happens to me. Like, I'm gonna be less interested in you now.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will say, on the other hand, you don't want to
Be too excited.
be, like, almost dependent, because I had this one guy a couple years ago. You might know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say it here. But he was very into me, and I knew that. But he didn't know that I knew. And he got my phone number and was just texting me all the time. And then I'm not a person who's around my phone all the time. I respond when I see a text, and sometimes that's like 3 hours.
I know.
But I don't ever, like, ignore people. And so I had, like, an after-school activity, and when I finally got home, he had texted me, like, 4 hours ago. He was telling me something, and then he was like, why haven't you responded? Do you hate me? I was like, okay, so now you're trying to guilt me.
Oh
and
my gosh.
You're just always texting me. This is not... You're seeming like if I was in a relationship with you, it would just be you contacting me all the time asking if I hated you. And that's also just something that person maybe needs to work on.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Like, don't be needy of that person, because that also shows that maybe you need to love yourself a little bit more. And actually, that's something that we're going to talk about in a future podcast, is tips for loving yourself and stuff like that, so stay tuned.
Wow.
Wow. And, but yeah, also, if you want to talk to someone, then you should not ignore them, because that means that you're not talking to them.
Yeah, it's a bit rude. But I also find, like, if you are talking to someone, like, non-stop, it can, like, ruin a good time. Like, I was talking to someone, like, non-stop for a bit. I went to, like, the mall with some friends, and I just wasted it.
Because you were talking to the person?
I should have put down the phone, been like, hey, as much as I want to talk to you, I am not going to right now.
That's another thing I just want to mention, and this is not even necessarily a relationship. It's like for talking to anyone, your friend, your parent, I don't care. If you're gonna go do something, say, hey, I'm gonna go do this thing, I'll be back later. Don't ghost them for like 5 hours and then be like, sorry, I was doing this. Give them advance notice. That's just a life lesson. You will seem like you will become a more thoughtful person.
You are a thoughtful person.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But you know what's in the word thoughtful?
Thought?
Thought! That's what you are!
That's not even how you spell thought.
Stop! Just let me have my fun here.
Oh my gosh. Sorry for
Cheers.
trying to ruin your fun. Cheers. Oh my gosh, Jessica. Well, I called you thoughtful too, so your joke kind of backfired on you.
But you know, people used to call me Jessica Thought
What?
in junior high.
Why?
Almond called me Jessica Thought. I don't know.
Like instead of Jessica Ross?
Yeah. Everyone in that class was weird. Oh my god. whenever, do you know how everyone was like, Kaiser?
No.
What? And everyone, and whenever Kaiser was called on, they'd be like, Kaiser, Kaiser, and then they turn to me and they go, Jessica, Jessica thought, and I was like, that didn't even have anything to do with me.
Oh my gosh.
That was, I missed that class. Good times.
Yeah. Oh, it was good.
It was
It was
good.
very enjoyable.
You know what?
Oh my gosh.
I look back at it and it was pretty good.
So, you know how our class we would eat in Dr. Shia's room?
Mm-hmm.
And so she would usually come by and use the microwave at lunch. And one day I was just eating whatever out of my thermos, and she came by and she was like, "You are so skinny. How do I be skinny?" And then she patted her stomach. She was like, "Look at me, I'm so fat." And I was like, "Dr. Shia, no!" Because she's not.
Oh
like,
my gosh, that's
I was-
hilarious.
I was like, I didn't even know how to respond.
Dr. She's hilarious.
Oh
I
my
remember not
gosh.
knowing her at all, and I went to the open house, and she was like, "Oh, can you say this?" And I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "That means you're pretty." And then she gave me a little fortune cookie,
Oh
and I
my
was like, "Wow!" Like I feel so loved and appreciated.
Wow. Yeah, she was a very funny lady.
With her little iPad, she would always carry around,
Oh my gosh.
take pictures.
Surprise possession. We love you, Dr. Shia. You're very funny. Good times.
I love how off topic we got there.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever.
Well,
I'm not cutting this part out.
Okay.
Because that was a good moment.
Sounds good. I'm alright with that.
Well, I mean, I guess talking about relationships, being in relationships, brings me to somebody sent me something, a question, and this is like a real, like, what are those things in the paper that's like Ask Allie or something?
Oh yeah, like an advice column?
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Okay, so
That's right. And actually, before you get started, because I know you're excited, so I don't want to.
I am excited.
I just want to say that we have an email, and so you can email us at whitewineandmoonshine@gmail.com, and we would love to answer your questions. And it will be completely anonymous if you would like it to. We can change names, anything you want. We're here to help.
Yeah.
Okay, Jessica, go.
Okay, so we've changed all of the names for niceness.
Privacy reasons.
Yes, that's better.
Or niceness.
Nice, yeah,
Whichever.
same thing. So I have a friend. Her name is Sharon, and she has this guy. She's been talking to him. They've gone on like a couple of dates. They're not like a thing yet, but they're like, you know, getting there. Like they know that they like each other and stuff.
Have they told each other that they like each other yet? Or is it just kind of...
It's just kind of common knowledge, I think.
Okay.
I mean, they've gone on dates, so...
Like official dates or
Yeah,
just kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
hangouts?
Oh my gosh, how am I supposed to know?
Okay.
Like, it was a date.
Okay.
It was a date, like, you went to her house and stuff.
Okay.
And, yeah, like, to pick her up or something. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Anyway, so, now Sharon has this friend named Kyle.
Okay.
And they're not, like, really close. Like, he goes to a different school. Like, they just talk on Snapchat. And so one day Kyle was like, "Listen, I'm gonna wait for you." And Sharon was like, "What are you talking about?" And
Yeah.
Kyle's like, I'm gonna wait until you, like, break up with whoever you're with right now, and we're gonna be together, and we're gonna work at McDonald's together." And when Sharon told me this, I was like, "What?" And Sharon was like, like, how do you even respond to that?
Yeah.
And so now she wants to know, does she tell who she's dating right now? Or does she not? Because technically she doesn't have to, because they're not, like, a thing. A thing. But also, you know, if you don't, it could not be good, because, you know, you don't want to seem like you're hiding it.
Yeah.
So now Sharon wants to know what to do.
So Sharon is not interested in Kyle, is that correct?
No, she is not interested in Kyle.
Okay. And she is interested in this other guy.
Yes.
So, would you like to give your thoughts first, Jess, or should I?
You go ahead.
Okay. Here's what I think. So, if Sharon is, like, interested in becoming committed to this relationship, I think that it would be good just kind of to start it on a good note, like just kind of to show how this relationship is going to go.
Ooh.
I think that she doesn't have to make it a big deal because it's just this guy and she didn't reciprocate, so it's not like she was being disloyal or anything. So I think she could just say, hey, I just want you to know that this guy like hit on me. I'm not interested in him. I'm interested in you. I just wanted you to know in case someone else told you and you were concerned that I hadn't told you. Like, just kind of just like a, hey, just so you know. But it doesn't have to be anything big, because it's not a big deal.
To be honest, I agree with that. That's exactly what... No, I thought our opinions might be different or something, but... I actually agree with that. She should tell him. Be like, yeah, not make it a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my gosh, go beat up, what's that verb? What did I say? Kyle?
Yes.
Go beat up Kyle. Like, I can't believe he did this. No, it's like, I just want to let you know, like, nothing's gonna change. Except for I'm probably gonna distance myself from Kyle because he's kind of weird. It's
more, I think, just like a little courtesy thing more than anything.
Exactly. That's
just like
the right word. That's
courtesy.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just so you know, and then we move on. Yeah.
That was perfect.
Thank you, Sharon, for the question.
Yes, we want more of those because they're kind of exciting.
They're very fun. Please send in your questions. We love
Gossip is
answering
great.
them. Oh my gosh.
Sorry. You know I live for the goss.
You love the goss. Well, Jess, we've been talking about relationships and such, but what do you think about the idea of true love and soulmates?
I mean, that's a pretty big topic.
Broad question.
I mean, people are always like, oh, you have like one soulmate, you have one true love. And I'm kind of like, there's almost like 8 billion people in the world. If you only had one true love, you would most likely, like 99%, be single.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's gotta be more than one person, otherwise there would be way less amount of true love relationship thingies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like statistically speaking.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I mean. And I mean, like, it's nice to be like, this is my one and only true love. I mean, sure, maybe that is true for a couple of people. But I would never really say that this is the one and only. I mean, I'm not gonna say, like, don't go looking around looking for someone better if you're really happy with who you're with.
Yeah.
But, like, what do you think?
Well, I'm kind of a romantic. I really like the idea of true love and soulmates. I think that it's very rare that you're gonna find them right away or anything. Like, and the one thing about soulmates is that it kind of implies that they're just perfect for you, which, I mean, I don't know, it could be true, but I think also in a good relationship, you also have to work on it.
True.
Like, it's not just something that will just come naturally for a lot of people. For some people, I don't know. I don't want to deal in absolutes because people aren't absolute.
Yeah. I've heard fighting is, like, not, like, a lot of fighting, but, like, you know.
I think fighting is okay as kind of, but as long as you are learning from your mistakes and working together to resolve issues. Because, I mean, if you're just fighting, that's not good.
I mean, sometimes I like to argue with people, like, for funsies.
Oh my gosh. That would drive me insane. I don't like arguing with people for no reason.
I just have to find someone who doesn't argue back. Because then we're going to start arguing. We're going to argue over something meaningless, and then we're going to break up over it.
This seems like some real Moonshine advice. I think true love, I don't know. I believe in it. My grandparents met each other when they were 14, and they never dated anyone else. They met, and then they fell in love, and they got married.
See, now I find that, like, I mean, I'm happy for them, but I mean, I would not agree with that tactic.
I think you just want to date a bunch of people.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying you should, like, what if, like, we said at the beginning, what if you're settling for someone and you didn't even know because you've never dated anybody else? I mean, that probably obviously wasn't the case with your grandparents. But, like, I'm sure with a lot of people, they think they're just with the right person, but there are so many better people out there, and they just never realized.
Well, you know, giving love advice, it's hard because everyone is different. But I think there is kind of those basics like we talked about with the boyfriend and crushes. For true love, I don't know, just try and find happiness in your life. That's really what we're all looking for.
Even though it's kind of impossible right now.
That's not true. It's all about finding the everyday happiness in your life, even. And if there are things that are not bringing happiness to your life, if you can cut them out.
Mm-hmm.
Some things are harder to cut out, like if they're work obligations or anything, but...
Oh, I was talking more like family.
Oh my gosh! Okay, Moonshine. I'm just gonna call you Moonshine, I like this.
Oh, but should I call you white wine?
Oh, yes. Shall we maybe finish off with one more question?
A silly question. So many people put in some really weird questions.
And Jessica was really eager to put this one in.
Okay, are you ready? So, at the beginning of the year, it became like a really big thing because dudes don't really understand the female body.
Which is unfortunate.
I don't know why, because we learn about the male body. Don't they learn about the female one?
You'd think so. Maybe they do and they just don't pay attention.
I
don't
guess
know.
so.
Anyway.
Like, it's kind of important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so a question got big at like in the fall or the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was, do girls eat their own tampons?
Oh my gosh.
And I think people were wondering that because, like, you know, blood loss.
Mm-hmm.
And you're losing a lot of blood there every month. But I will tell you, tampons are tasty.
Oh my gosh! Jessica's kidding. Girls do not eat their tampons.
Hey, stop ruining it.
We're trying to be honest here.
What?
We're helping people. Well, I don't know if this really helps people.
Plus, are dudes
Anyway.
even gonna listen to this?
Maybe not.
I mean, girls already know the answer. Unless, I mean, maybe there are some girls who are into that.
Oh, well, I don't think that's very safe.
Why?
Because of the stuff in the actual tampon itself. Like, there's probably chemicals and stuff in there.
Ooh, you think they would be allowed to have chemicals? I mean, you're kind of
I don't know.
putting it in your body.
I guess that'd be something you have to search up.
I thought it was just like cotton. There's cotton in your shirt. There's cotton in your
Are
pants.
you gonna eat your shirt?
Well, I'm just saying, like...
If it was soaked in blood, are you gonna eat your shirt?
Ew, okay. I'm saying, like, it can't be that toxic. It's just cotton.
Well, anyway, no, we don't eat our tampons, and our body does just regenerate blood. Well, even, like, everyone's bodies regenerates blood. That's why you can donate blood.
Ooh, I don't want to do that. Luke asked me to donate blood the other day, and I was like, why? Like, out of the blue, he was like, are you eligible to donate blood? And I'm like, I'm actually underweight according to these charts. He was like, oh, what the heck? I'm going now, bye. And I was like, what?
Is he okay?
I don't know. Apparently they need blood for COVID. So, I mean, donate!
All right. Well,
so.
I guess there's that.
Anyway, well, thank you for joining us on our tester round for
our pilot episode.
Ooh, snazzy.
Snazzy, I know.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We will be posting this to YouTube as well as Instagram, so you can find us there. I think you're going to be able to DM us on Instagram as well if you have questions, if you're not feeling like emailing us. Again, completely confidential. We would love to answer your questions.
You can also just, like, text us, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you don't really know us, because then you wouldn't have our texts.
Yeah.
Our text.
our phone numbers.
Anyway, love you guys. Thanks
Yes.
for listening.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to White Wine and Moonshine.
We hope you love it. And if you didn't, you stink.
They don't stink, Jessica.
Sure.
We love giving advice.
And we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, obviously.
If you have any questions or problems you'd like answers or advice to, you can email us at whitewineandmoonshine@gmail.com.
We'd love to answer it in the next epi.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you soon.